All right. Well, welcome. Another beautiful day here in Central Florida and Atlanta. And we're coming straight to you at the Seductress of Love, the podcast and the Masculine Mirror series. And this series is not about fixing man or woman or witnessing or anything. It's actually exploring how the beautiful experience that you can see it from the lens of the masculine and also in love and leadership and devotion, calm and the pressure, and because we all hold pressure at some point, and we all hold and we all hold a purpose. So this is nothing had to do with a she or he. It's who we are as genuines, as humans. And not from a theory, but not from like performance, from life, from truth, from your essence, from love, from the bottom of your heart story. I think it's beautiful when we hear each individual stories. To me, story matters. Your life matters. Everyone's at this point of our life. If you're coming into my world and you're seeing this and you're part of this community, know that I'm all about love, because the more you love yourself, the higher the rising freedom you will give yourself to love yourself so deep that actually life will fulfill you with so much love and pleasure, to allow yourself to be happier, to enjoy the pleasures that life has for you. And some of us at some point are actually afraid to receive that love, and at times we have to learn how to let go of different versions of ourselves that we're afraid to receive. And and I speak from myself as well, because coming from a lot of different transformations that I have done in my life. But not only me, this show is not about me, it's about all of us. I think there's also a lot of people that are silent, that are not available at this moment. That doesn't mean that you cannot and you will not be. There's a times that there's always what we call divine timing, but I think when is the right time? Because to me, there was always divine timing, but when? What's my priority as a person? Where do I want to be here from here to 5 years? Is it going to be in the same bullshit story, or is it going to be in the story that I am worthy of living? The ones that gives me joy, the ones that brings me to happiness, the ones that puts me in the ecstasy of love and desire and the pleasure to receive the most abundant life in this world. And so if you're here, I'm really happy to have you here. And for the ones that don't know me, my name is Blanca Angelica Rivera. And as you know, everyone knows me by Blancelica. And I love helping women become become the seductress of love and life, and relationship and entrepreneurship. Because if you're an entrepreneur, my dear friend, you're gonna have to fucking fall in love with yourself over and over and over again. And with that being said, I love to create spaces where the masculine is heard. It's so beautiful. They have so many stories because, as we were kids, at times they will tell us, oops, you cannot say anything. You're strong. You can't cry. No, we're done with that BS. The most beautiful thing that a man could do is to be vulnerable enough to devote himself to the most pleasurable life that he could build, because men love to build and they love leadership, and they always have a purpose in life. And so today I am honored to welcome Mr. Terry Moore, and he's the a founder with over 25 years of leadership and entrepreneur experience in the music and legal space. At the core of Terry's leadership, and one of the non-negotiable values, integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, integrity is so important in this entrepreneurship. And I'm probably raising my hand right now because that's what we do around here. We just raise hands. And then he believes leadership is not about control, but about example, knowing that others are always watching, learning, and following the energy you set. One of the driving forces behind Terry's entrepreneur journey has been time freedom. And we all know, we all been there. And I mean, some of you know that I come from 7 days a week to 80 hours a week. I was a hustler. And being a woman of her alpha, I said I was done. I felt that I was so tired. So, like, just reading that and just allowing myself to just feel it, I'm like so appreciated right now to being in this time freedom. And it's not only for the financial success, it's for the love, the build, because financial success is regardless what your purpose is in this life is inedible. So thank you. And then so when he says the when pressure hits, my dear friends, Terry turns inward to prayer, to faith, grounding, using spirituality as stabilizing force for both business and life. Today, my dear friends, Terry, join us, not as a teacher, but as a witness. Come on down. The price is right, my friend. Tell us something about you. Um, just out of curiosity, like in real life, who is Terry Moore?
That's a great question. Thank you for the amazing introduction. I appreciate it. I'll tell you, my background is over 40 years in the music industry. As a person born with cerebral palsy, when I was born, the doctors actually told my parents to put me in a nursing home, saying he would never amount to anything. So this is like 1964, 1965. And so I'm very thankful of being resilient and being consistent now in the not so much in the music space as there used to be. As I'm getting older, I'm sort of been transitioning last couple of years out of that space, but really delving for the last 5, 6, 10 years now into the network marketing space. And I'm also a public speaker now living in Atlanta, Georgia, formerly, by the way, of Brooklyn and Queens, New York.
Amazing. Amazing. I told you we made it to Atlanta. It's amazing. I love it. When you are with a woman and let's get into that love. We go straight to business. We don't waste no time around here. It's like
Mhm.
love and life. When you are with a woman who chooses you, what
Mhm.
shifts inside of you like emotionally, energetically?
One being appreciative and knowing that you're being with somebody that appreciates your true self. And, coming from a disabled world and coming from a music world, sometimes it's hard to see if somebody is being authentic or being genuine when they're in a relationship with you. But when you do find a person that is genuine and loves you for who you are, regardless of your disability, regardless of your background in music and who you have connections with. That is really, to me, what life is all about because it's unconditional love.
I love that. Thank you for that. What does feminine calm do actually to your nervous system, especially in life or business? If you're having like a difficult time in business or life or HR, um, how does the feminine calmness reflect in your nervous system?
Faith. Faith and a lot of letting go and just believing in divine order. And like, for example, just having a very strong belief that no matter what I see, it's always going to work out. So the faith really plays hard into that. But also mainly is sometimes when it gets overwhelming, when I'm sitting in my office and I'm like, what am I doing next? A quick movie helps. Just taking a break from the office and going to watch a movie and getting something to eat and say, I'll come back to it. because it's not going to go anywhere. But being able to give myself grace and not beat up on myself if I don't finish something at a particular time. I always give myself grace and say, I'll do it again tomorrow. So that helps out a lot.
That's amazing. I love that. What does emotional safety look like in your behavior?
When you say emotional safety, for example, give me an example and I can answer that better.
A lot of women they do have they do have tendencies to, of course, because the woman, in order to open up her heart to a man, they have to feel that emotional safety.
Mm.
What, where she could be herself, be vulnerable, and not being judged. For because we're just emotional roller coaster. I mean, that's just the reality of freaking life. I mean, some days we're just like happy, and next thing you know, it's like our hormones are off the chart, and maybe we're moody, and then so
Uh-huh.
like, and sometimes we're just bitchy. We're just like, where did this bitch come from? And
Yeah.
that's, it's not that. I mean, I could probably see myself going through maybe those little emotions. There's some women that take it to a different level. We're not talking about those, right?
Okay.
I mean,
Mhm.
we're not going to like hit anyone. Those are years ago. Think that happened.
Mhm.
We don't go there anymore. We don't need those type of environments in our life. However, I believe in polarity with her woman when she's in her receiving mode, that you guys do have that magnetic field where you feel comfortable coming in and allowing yourself to speak to her, and then you feel emotionally safe to come to her because you feel welcome, you feel home, and which is
Yeah.
an amazing, amazing polarity, which you do the same so that she could also feel emotionally safe.
Yeah.
Does that make
Absolutely.
sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I'll tell you this, for the majority of men, um, this is where we feel safe when we feel that we're not consistently being verbally beat up on. You always hear the term nagging, and why you nagging him and verbally beating up on, and that sort of pulls us away. For example, I remember I was talking to a young lady and we were starting a date, and she would say stuff like, oh, you're calling me. I haven't heard from you in a week or so, and now you decide to call me, and you don't think about me as much as I think about. So it was that type of verbal that sort of made me pull back, because everyone wants to feel safe, especially men, and men look for peace. That is the biggest thing for men. We want peace. We don't want to consistently battle, not just in our relationship, because we're already battling outside in the world. But when we come home, we want to have that peace where we're feeling safe. Like, it doesn't have to be, for example, baby, I got the bathtub running for you. Let me massage your feet, and I got food ready for you. Those things are great, but it's not what we look for. It could be something as simple as, hey, let's watch a movie on the sofa and cuddle, and tell me about your day. Men, we want to hear a woman say to us, "How was your day? Tell me about your day," so that we can have those communications and talk.
Yeah, that's amazing. That is amazing. And I that's exactly, have to, it's like coming home. I wouldn't never say it any other way at all times. And amazing. What instantly turns you off energetically? If even if she's freaking beautiful, I mean, you know it. Come on. Yes.
Oh, goodness. I can tell you right off the bat, I have to trust you. So if you're lying, that is
Oh,
definitely a red flag for
yes.
me.
Oh
Absolutely,
my
you can be
God.
a model, but if I can't trust the person and they're like, And I've dated, some beautiful women, some models, but unfortunately, there was a lot of lying involved. Jealousy is also a turn off. Like, what are you doing with this person, and what are you doing, who with this girl, that sort of thing. Um, and I'll tell you a story that just came to mind, but also too, one of the turnoffs is clutter. I'm very organized in my life, and clutter definitely is a turnoff. But on my TV, when my TV goes into idle in my living room, what winds up happening is pops up Amazon pictures. So you may see a picture of me hanging out with this artist, or a picture of me, hanging out at home. And there's a lot of friends that I have are women. And I remember that I was dating this young lady, and we were sitting in the living room, and the pictures started popping up of me and these women hanging out. And the first thing she said is, "You're gonna have to move those pictures." And just it wasn't like, "Baby, could you?" And see, delivery is another thing. It wasn't like, "Sweetheart, that really bothers me. Can you take those pictures off for me because it makes me feel a certain better?" Which I would have respected that more, as opposed to talking to me like I'm 10 years old and say, "Yeah, you're gonna have to give her those pictures." And that was the beginning of the end, because that spelled to me insecurity. And yeah, it didn't last too long after that. But delivery is everything too. Uh, you can ask me to do something or tell me to do something, and tell me is normally the beginning of the
Amazing. Yeah, that's no good, even though that, you're free to do whatever you want. I think it's everyone has their own choices, but their own circumstances. I mean, it's up to
end.
you. Me myself, I'm done with karma. So I stay out of trouble. Hey, but this one is really a good question. I love asking people this because it's so beautiful to see people succeed in life. What was the real turning point that led you into entrepreneurship?
Mhm. Yeah. What led me to entrepreneurship?
Mm-hmm.
I worked in corporate. Well, I'm sorry. The music industry spoiled me. And sorry, that's my ring going on. Okay. Motion detected at ring. When I got into the music industry, it sort of spoiled me, because in the music industry, your schedule is not a regular 9 to 5. I may go to the record label at 8 o'clock in the morning, or I may get to the record label at 11 o'clock in the morning, show up really when I want to show up. But I may get home after being in the recording studios all day, all night. And so I don't get home till 2 o'clock. So every day in the music industry was different. But when I started working in corporate, it was a lot more restricted. Like, you come to work at 9 and you leave at 5, and the day is pretty much the same. And when I decided it was time for me to go back into the music industry and leave 9 to 5, it was mainly because of free time freedom, just to be able to do what I wanted to do and make every day different, and not sort of know that, okay, this is how my day is going to be every day for the rest of my year, rest of my life. But diving back into the music industry, getting into the network marketing industry, I love those challenges. I love the time freedom, and literally just doing what I want to do. Those are the blessings. And that's one of the reasons I got back into entrepreneurship. Yeah.
Heck yes, I love it. When pressure hits, like what happens inside of you first? Because I know, life is everything is about holding the pressure. What happens inside of you, and how do you regulate yourself?
Well, the blessing for a lot of people that are disabled, um, we sort of look at pressure different than the able-bodied person, because for a lot of people who are disabled, we're just glad to be able to get up. You're like, wow, I woke up this morning, I can get out of bed, with no assistance. I can live a life with, no assistance. So we're just happy. Whether you're in a wheelchair or you walking with crutches or something, we're just happy. So the pressure for us is a little different, where we normally shake off a lot of stuff. But if it's let's say something happens in my business or something happens in my life, I give myself a limited time to be in that space. But I have made a rule to myself not to allow myself to stay in that space because I've got things to do. It's like, I feel bad that this happened, but I can't stay there because I've got things to do. Life is still moving, and I've got goals that I want to accomplish and dreams that I want to get to, and so I can't stay in that space. I got to keep it moving.
Yeah, amazing. How has the prayer, the faith influenced your leadership and decision making?
In regards to prayer, it's amazing because I've seen it work. And so I know that it works because I prayed for things that I've gotten. My house is one example. Uh, this is my second home that I bought about 6 years ago. And I literally wrote down specifically what I wanted my house to look like, down to the hardwood floors, down to the type of refrigerator that I wanted, how many bedrooms and everything. And what was great about that was I just kept having faith. I was like, Lord, I don't see it, but I know it's coming. And I feel like you have to act as if you've already gotten it. When I was living in my apartment, I was buying things, and you come to my house, my apartment, and I had boxes like I was moving. I just didn't know where I was moving to. And people would come over and say, "Oh, wow, you're moving?" Yeah, but I just don't know when and where. So faith is having faith without being able to see what's ahead of you. And it's helped me not only in my business, but it's helped me a lot in my personal life. In my business, I deal with obtaining members that want legal access. And because of the business I'm with, I can't get too much into the specifics, but God always delivers. And, out of the blue, I will have somebody that will call me up and need this. So it's a blessing.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Terry, what would you tell anyone in the audience, to the man and woman that hears your voice and your story? What's one thing that the world needs more of?
Love.
I love
Absolutely
that.
love. There, there's
Oh,
a there's a song that I don't know if a lot of people really know, but I encourage everybody to listen to a song by Stevie Wonder that came out in the mid '70s called "Loved in Need of Love Today." And it unfortunately 30 something years later, 70s, yeah, well, more than that, probably 40 to 50 years, it still is relevant as when he wrote it in the mid '70s. And it's Love's in Need of Love Today. Send yours in right away. Don't delay. Send yours in right away. So I think everybody needs to listen to that song and always treat people the way you want to be treated. That's one of my main philosophy is to treat people the way I would want to be treated. And but the world definitely needs love. Yeah, it's always needs love, but more now than ever. The world needs love.
perfect. I love that. Yes, yes to love, my dear friends.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Terry, for your honesty, for your present, for being here, and your integrity. I mean, this is what the masculine mirror looks like, ladies and gentlemen. And I love being here, not because we're perfect, not because we're here to perform, but because we are just in our truth, in our essence, and in our glory, and in our divine purpose to continue to serve in different aspects of our authentic purpose in life, the world. And we continue to have like a global movement of love, and we continue to spread in different modalities. I think music, it's the most beautiful gift you could ever give yourself also as well. I think in music industry, it's beautiful. And of course, for the ones that do vibration, I'll just like to let that speaker let me vibrate whatever it is, as long as it's making me happy. So that's what music is for. And
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful to have you. Thank you for your time. Where can people find you?
I would say to Google me, write Terry Moore, Moorer, Music Biz Coach, and all of my social media platforms will pop up, or just Google Terry Moore. And there is a Terry F. Moore out there that's actually a judge. So sometimes people will say, this is not him. But yeah, Terry Moore, Music Biz Coach, and I'll pop up. And I'm on Instagram, I'm on Threads, I'm on Facebook, and also on LinkedIn, and I'll be honored to connect with any of your listeners and viewers.
My God, that's amazing. Well, you heard that right, guys, and I am so flattered to have you here. Thank you. And yeah, we'll have to send give you my link so we could connect further. So you heard that, everyone. Go follow, send a DM, connect, connect, connect. I think it's amazing to bring people into this world and share because we connect, and next thing you know, there's another collaboration out there in the field, and there's maybe someone is learning from whatever their experience. I think life experience is the most beautiful thing. Um, I think I have learned so much from other people's life experience, and it has helped me not to make the mistakes over and over again. So, and to why not like learn from other people's experience. And so, thank you so much for being here. For the ones that don't know me, my name is Blanca Angelica Rivera. I go by Blancelica, and you can always find me at www.blangelicasboutique.com. And it's always a pleasure coming to you and just bringing laughter of love, joy, seduction of more love. And yes, thank you so much for being here. And it's always a pleasure sharing with you and the world. Thank you.